Hey everybody, and welcome to Stock Abilities. Robinhood's at it again. Essentially, counts were looted, but Robinhood claims that it's not their fault. What a surprise. Feel free to like this video, comment below your own input on what's going on with this, and share the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. But essentially, a lot of people have been experiencing an issue where they basically log into their Robinhood account and their funds are simply missing. They're over here asking, well, what's going on? Some tried to go send a message to Robinhood. Some tried to call Robinhood, but unfortunately, Robinhood does not have a phone number anymore. It used to when it started, back years back. They used to be able to answer calls, pretty promptly, and then eventually it went and redirected to a simple voicemail that redirects to sending an email. And I'll show you the fun little loop that it goes into when you try to get questions answered outside of the email, but we're going to get into that in just a second. Essentially, the recent issue that they claim is that their emails were targeted, their personal emails, and it had nothing to do with Robinhood. But coincidentally, it only happened to Robinhood users. You're not hearing this about Webull. You're not hearing this about Tastyworks, TD Ameritrade, so on and so forth. You're only hearing this about Robinhood. Now, the undergoing assumption is that maybe a Robinhood user clicked some kind of phishing email in relation to a Robinhood scheme going on. It's very unclear what's really going on outside of that. Robinhood says that they don't understand what's really going on. They don't believe it's their fault. They are denying basically everything in that regard. The biggest issue with utilizing Robinhood is the fact that people continue to utilize it despite all these problems and, with FINRA and SEC and all this stuff going on, because they've had past problems. And if you want to check out some of the other videos, I'll link them to in the description below. And but we're going to get a little bit more into this, that essentially that they've been expanding so much and so popularly that they supposedly can't keep a quality customer service line. I found that a little bit preposterous, but even still, they've had all these problems. They had people that were doing box spreads, for example. I'm not going to pay for Market Watch. And then they had, but the biggest concern is the fact that they don't have a customer service line that you can call. So if you have any problems, you can't just simply call and get it fixed. You can't talk to any live person. You have to send an email. I've used to work with Robinhood a long time ago when I used to have them as a broker. They started out great, then they expanded too fast, and then apparently they just started neglecting customers altogether. I've had in the past open tickets for weeks, months. I have one that I logged for 6 months where they kept forwarding me to another customer service agent because they couldn't answer my request. So is this a broker that you want to continue to utilize? Probably not. But that's really up to you. They've had a lot of numerous problems over just the course of a year, but the biggest issue is there's really no way to contact them. There's been a lot of problems, whether it's with margin or whether it's with cash accounts or whether it's with, the Robinhood card and all this kind of stuff, and then, glitches and delays and just weird buying power exposures and things like that. And then discrepancies of certain things, these are not just like one-off incidents, you can read here would be, people are having trouble logging in and logging out. People are having trouble, transferring funds and adding funds and, moving funds out of their broker and, jumping around. Why are people still using this? I guess because it's a broad, hype company. It's easy to download and install the app, and you're right there, and you got your broker right in front of you. You got what you could purchase right in front of you. They make it pretty simple, but behind the scenes, it's a little bit more complicated than that. The short answer, though, is that essentially Robinhood is not a broker you should be utilizing. The only reason that it made it so viable to begin with was that it was free shares trading. But now you got major brokers like TD Ameritrade, you got Schwab, basically the same thing now. You got all of these other fun brokers that you can be utilizing that are basically free for shares. They don't charge anything for shares anymore. So there's really nothing to really keep you on the Robinhood platform other than the ease of use and, the as some people would say, the appealing graphic user interface, but not really. If you're trading based on how the app looks, it's not really a good idea to be putting funds into it just from that. Even with the free shares aspect, you can get free shares pretty much on almost any major broker now. But here's just their customer service page. Okay, you got to contact us. You go this. You type. I don't know. Let's choose a fun one here. I'm having restrictions with my accounts. Uh, I need a lifting a day trade restriction. Okay, continue. Brings you right to an email box. Other ones, you try to. I mean, there's no phone number. There's no. This is. They're trying to automate sort of like what Google does with its Google AdSense program, but they have so many bugs and problems that they can't really just automate it through like a generic box and then have a bot respond to you because they have too many problems ongoing. They need to hire a more proper customer service support line. Otherwise, they're going to have more and more people leaving. There's always going to be new people joining, but they're just ignoring these problems. I don't know. I'm having a login. Let's see here. My account was compromised. Avoid scams, best practices. Same thing. Enter your email. They give you generic little help things. And even when you send the email, all right, essentially you're going to end up ultimately getting a looped bot response. You're not going to get an actual human most of the time. And then when you do, they seem to be talking in broken English now. See, when I was last a part of them and I tried to get rid of my account, I went and followed their prompts or whatever. I said, I'm going to close my account. I sent a ticket out, and it took them 3.5 weeks to finally understand, with back and forth emails, that I wanted to simply close my account. I no longer want to be a part of Robinhood. But they kept sending me these emails about, trying to understand what I'm trying to ask. Like, am I trying to close a position? No, I'm trying to close my Robinhood account. It took them 3 weeks to finally make the connection that I want to leave. And then occasionally I still seem to get emails from them. So I'm questioning that did they even close my email, or are they, still harvesting my personal information that they should have no rights to anymore because I'm no longer a part of the Robinhood platform? I'm a little bit questioning on that. I've, reported and flagged those emails that I continue to get from Robinhood on occasion. Doesn't seem to do anything. Not too much to say about that. Other thing to note about Robinhood, with all these ongoing problems and stuff, is they're still raising funding. This is August funding. They raised $200 million in a Series G funding. They're still getting funding pre-IPO. Then they want to literally IPO their stock. I don't know if you guys know enough about Robinhood or just IPOs in general, but an IPO basically means that you want to make your company go public and publicly traded. A lot of companies that, go and IPO for public trading are usually failing companies or struggling to, raise proper funding. Robinhood going public, probably a good idea for the hype, but, the actual valuation of the company is a little bit iffy here. To me, there isn't a whole lot of value in it. The value is more on the direct investors of the platform and not so much the people utilizing it to trade on. So, whether you feel it's a viable company to IPO and, trade in that platform and utilize this platform, I don't know. It's not for me. There's just too many problems that they have on a day-to-day basis over and over and over again, downtime and order filling questionability, a lot of just iffy things. Even market buys and market sells tend to fill at very weird points. And to a degree, like they're making a profit off of those, those variations. The downtime, uh, in a year-to-year basis, this website's been down multiple times, especially at major historical points where it's down at literally the whole entire day. You don't have customer service you can talk to. You can't call someone on the phone and get a hold of them. You just can't do it. It's not really worth it because you simply can't get a hold of them if you have any problems. This isn't a traditional broker that has a phone line you can call and contact. Now, some, other brokers I'd recommend if you're doing options trading is Tastyworks. Tastyworks is currently offering a special promotion. $2,000 you fund, you get 100 shares worth. Yeah, I think it equates to about $200 to $300, but you got to hold that 2,000 in there. That's part of their promotional thing. Check that out in the link below. But Tastyworks I utilize currently. Response time is about 1 minute on the phone. If you guys don't believe me, I can leave the number in the description below. You can just simply call their customer service line. You don't need to even have, an account with them, and they will literally answer your call within 1 minute. 1 to 3 minutes. Sometimes it drags on a little bit depending on what's going on. In the entire past 3 years, I've only had 3 incidents where the broker was down longer than 5 to 10 minutes. You know, and usually it ended up being like 30 to 40. I think their longest downtime in the recent days was basically 30 to 40. I don't know, 30 to 40 minutes, something like that. Not much longer than that. So that's a pretty good uptime for the most part. And the nice thing about Tastyworks is you contact them in email, you contact them in phone, and you have a viable scenario where you were trying to sell your position or whatever. They give you credits fairly easily. Now, Webull is another one. Webull is basically Robinhood reskinned, but Webull doesn't have as many problems as Robinhood does. So if you're just day trading or swing trading or what have you, just shares, Webull can offer the same thing. Webull offers free options trading as well, same exact thing. So if you use Robinhood, you might as well use Webull. It has less problems. You can check that out in the description below. Pretty intuitive platform. I personally use Webull for swing and day trading, occasionally shares. For not Robinhood, for the Tastyworks platform, I utilize it for options trading. For if you're doing long-term stocks, things like that, you want to go with a more established broker like TD Ameritrade and those larger or E-Trade or what have you, those larger brokers. The reason I use TD Ameritrade is because of the Thinkorswim platform, which I'd highly recommend you guys use if you're utilizing for day trading, swing trading, what have you. Thinkorswim is one of the best platforms in my opinion, the entire world. So it's a good platform to utilize, but in the end, it comes full circle. Like, why are you sticking with Robinhood when it continues to have these problems? Is this like some kind of experiment with Robinhood to test the mental stability of a retail investor for market research? Is that why companies are investing in this? I don't really see the concept of the value of why people stick with this, but they continue to stick with this broker for whatever the reason. But all the links in the description below that I mentioned. Feel free to comment below your own inputs on Robinhood, your own experience, whether you're considering moving to another broker, so on and so forth. And thanks for listening, guys, and have a nice day.